This is my fourth feature, and I've been making films now for 14 years, and so I own my own company. I do everything myself, and I've always been that way. And I think a lot of it comes from being raised in Cleveland. I'm a blue collar kid, and so I kind of can't. I look at filmmaking the same way I look at carpentry. You just nail it, build the base, and work your way from there. So a lot of times with films, it's really about what inspires me in terms of some type of social change. Even every project, I've written maybe 40 screenplays now. Every project I've written has some form of social theme in it. I believe that as artists, it's our job to document the human condition. The brand of fatherhood is a false image of us, right? At least with the brand of father knows best, right? We knew everything. We were wise. With the Bill Cosby brand, we were professional. We had married the perfect wife and we had the perfect kids. Still a good brand. Difficult to live up to, but still a good brand, a positive brand. Then we move into the Homer Simpson era. We move into the Al Bundy era. And you see the image of dad deconstructed to where he's a couch potato. He's an ATM machine and a couch potato. And that concerned me because I don't like being viewed that way as a man, as a father. I didn't like how when I would go to see my children be born, they would just talk to the mom. I didn't like how when I would sit in the waiting rooms, there was no literature or magazines for us to look at. And most importantly, I read a statistic about the amount of Mother's Day cards that are printed compared to the amount of Father's Day cards. And it's double. And so in theory, I looked at it like, wow, they don't expect half of us to show up. That's why they're not printing the equal amount of cards, right? And so it really got me saying, look, someone needs to document what men feel. And so we said, okay, we're going to interview as many men as we can, and we're just going to ask them a simple set of questions. Tell me about your father. Tell me what it's like to be a father. Do you love your children? And you begin to realize that men have never been asked these questions. No one has ever said, do you love your children? No one even thinks that we do, right? Of course you ask mom, how's it feel to be a mom? Don't you love your babies? And of course mom's like, oh, it's wonderful. Fathers feel the same way. And so I wanted to kind of attack that situation and give these men a chance to speak. And we had 150 plus men cry immediately. We had men who had been incarcerated for 20 years break down in tears. We had fathers who were very wealthy and very well off talk about, I was never there for my child. Yes, they live in a big house. Yes, they all have cars. Yes, they go to an Ivy League school, but I was not there. And no matter what, there's a level of participation that I missed out on as a father that completely reflects on our relationship. And then I wanted to remove this stigmatism of absentee fathers as being minorities, number one. It's not the case. As being uneducated, number two. It's not the case. This has nothing to do with social economics. It has nothing to do with your religion. It has nothing to do with race. It has to do with a climate that we as a society have created that fathers can't really parent in, right? Now you have men saying, hey, I don't want to have children because I don't want to be in a child support system. Whoa, that's your contraceptive? We are, in my opinion, we need good people to bring good people into our society. A lot of these men are good people. They may not be perfect on paper, but most importantly, they love their children. And we wanted to kind of let people see that, yeah, man, we love our kids. We may not know how to express it. We may not be very good at actually dealing with those emotions, thus we never talk about it. The big thing for the film is to really attack that brand and try to present a new, more modern and realistic brand for fathers to step into. That's a really long shadow, and we got to step into it and engage it, but it has to be engaged knowing that if we fall down, we'll still be supported.
Is this film you've made and want to show people? Obviously, fathers will connect because it's about fatherhood. But is it just for fathers?
It's for everyone. It's for children, right? It's for young ladies who eventually become mothers. It's for young men who eventually become fathers, hopefully. It's for fathers that are in the home and doing what they're supposed to do to say, hey, man, keep doing what you're doing. Because no one pats us on the back. Like, Chris Rock coined the phrase, I'll never forget it. I do it all for the big piece of chicken. You get on TV, I taught you how to play the sport, you score a touchdown, first thing you say, hi, Mom. And there's nothing wrong with that. She carried you for 9 months, she birthed you into the world. But I also feel like fathers have slowly been pushed to the back. And we need that praise. We need to know that what we do is really cool. I wanted to really show fathers that you are a celebrity. You are the stars of these young people's universe. Don't ever think that LeBron James has more weight than you do over your children. You are LeBron James. You are Michael Jordan to your children. So I wanted to kind of put that out there. But also I wanted the mothers, number one, to show that they're supportive of the fathers. So we have tons of women in the film talking about the need for fathers, because I feel like a lot of times we created this mortal enemy thing where the dad's on one side, mom's on the other, and it's this constant conflict. That's not true. There are tons of women that want men involved in their children's lives, and they don't care about money, they don't care about child support, they care about time with child. The next thing I wanted to do was to say, look, I understand you need child support from that man. I understand that he may not be living up to his financial responsibilities based upon what the law says, based upon what you feel you need. Is that enough to say that he has no right to see his children? The concept that a father is a visitor in their own child's life must go away. The term, I won't let him see his children, must go away. The idea that you don't have a right to see your children because you can't buy Christmas gifts must go away. Men have to create a community of conversation beyond just, hey, I'm a dad. Something simple as, how do I deal with my child's sexuality? A lot of fathers are not equipped to deal with modern sexuality. And some of it is because we haven't talked about our own sexuality, right? We're uncomfortable with talking about sex with our kids, right? But also, we have to realize that a father's role is like the ultimate backup. I'm just here to back you up, Mom. I'm just here to support what you're doing. You got it. I'm not saying you're not doing a great job. You're doing an amazing job. You just don't have to do it by yourself. You don't have to. And these fathers need to accept their responsibility. I'm not here to create any excuse. There is zero excuse for you not to know your children. If you know the starting 5 on the Cavs and you don't know your children's 5 teachers, shame on you. If you've taught your children who the quarterback of the Browns is, but you haven't taught your children who the mayor and the councilman is, shame on you. We have to engage our children with the same zest and zeal that we do for our sports, for our cars, for our women, for being cool. And so the film is trying to say, look, just step up. It's statistically proven, a child without a father, 75 times more likely to be killed. Has an 85% chance of being incarcerated. A child with a father, those numbers drop dramatically. Even if that father is a horrible father, even if he's a drunk daddy who comes home and just lays on the couch, his value as a teacher is unmeasurable. Because he will say, don't be like me. That kid won't drink. He will say, hey, I'm not the best father. That kid will know to do better. It's really understanding that even fathers who aren't perfect offer an amazing amount of education and teaching and nurturing to their children that we have to begin to look at as being far greater than the money they could provide.